We can't seem to get this briefing off the ground yet. 2:30 now?
They moved it to 2:30.
Yeah.
Wow.
Steve, how could you bring bad news like that
I'm
to
so
us?
sorry.
Where? Scoop.
What did you say?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh.
I had some out.
Yeah. That's why I have a lunch already. No.
Oh.
Good idea for you guys to go to lunch.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but I'm not suggesting. I know. I just love this stuff. I get worried. No, it's okay. Thank you. Oh, there you go. It's not even, we're worried about passing it on. This thing is right here. Oh, yeah. But anyway, so look at like that way. Okay, and then.
Hey, the reason you can put back, so yeah. Sorry, the reason you can put back. So I just wanted to, yeah, now. Yeah, hold on a second.
breaking up. You're breaking up. What? Hi. Right. So has I guess it's just figure out what the economy like who wants to anchor you or who like I'm gonna be in there and I actually also have to deal with like Ryan is meeting lawmakers on immigration effect. Plus he's now put me on a calendar that he's got to work on with the papers and I feel like minutes of time. So if you could anchor that would be great. But I also don't know what you're up to with that. Right, right. I mean, I'm happy to do whatever I can to make it here. Like just, oh, sorry. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. That's fine, yeah. So why don't you work on that and I'll
Hoy me iba a
and the Public-Private Strategies Institute. It is now my pleasure to turn the program over to my colleague, Rhett Buttle.
Well, hello everyone and welcome. My name is Rhett Buttle. I'm proud to be here today as a small business advocate and president of the Public-Private Strategies Institute. We have an amazing program for you today. I wanted to take a moment to thank all of you.
Thank you so much.
Hello, New York. Sorry, sir. Got me loud and clear? That got sounded good. Thank you. Where do I look over here? Over here.
Go that way.
Yay. Your entertainment sync with Apple.
Yeah, I try to be organized. I did like all of my other parts of my life, just at least at this.
Is that just like regular recorder or recorder stuff?
Recorder, 2 external chargers, charging cords.
For the trip, I got this like battery charger.
Oh.
trying to get some. It's one of those where I'm like, I don't think there's much here, but I kind of like to keep my foot in the fire. I almost emailed you back and saying, dude, I said small. Don't be going looking for some big story.
Yeah.
Though a contact did text me and said, hey, your story's on Google News. And I'm like, oh, please, no.
Then we must give everyone with an idea or an entrepreneurial dream the tools and support they need to help build our reimagined economy. The SBA has scaled from a $40 billion portfolio to more than $1 trillion in relief, and we remain committed to delivering billions more swiftly and equitably. Today, you'll learn about our COVID economic injury disaster loan program, tax credits to help vaccinate your workforce, our PPP direct forgiveness portal for loans of $150,000 or less, and more. We are working to design and implement programs that are streamlined and accessible to meet our small businesses where they are. And the Bipartisan Infrastructure Deal announced yesterday will be a game changer, providing unprecedented investments in infrastructure and enhancing our global competitiveness. In addition, the Biden-Harris administration's Buy American initiative, which includes a commitment to buy from all of America, will create important new opportunities and will build on efforts to increase federal contracts for small businesses with financing and business development support at the SBA. Small businesses are at the forefront of the Biden-Harris administration's Build Back Better agenda, as we know they are our job creators and the giants in our economy. I'm honored to be joined today by Vice President Kamala Harris, who throughout her career has fought to strengthen small businesses, increase access to capital, and help all entrepreneurs thrive. She is committed to supporting the smallest of the small businesses through community lenders, which are a critical part of SBA's network. During the pandemic, they were able to provide billions of dollars in PPP forgivable loans to our smallest businesses, thanks to her advocacy. Small businesses are close to her heart, and I am so proud that we have a vice president who regularly takes time to meet with our nation's entrepreneurs to hear about their challenges, ideas, and dreams for the future. Everyone, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Vice President Kamala Harris.
Oh, thank you. Well, hello, everyone. Hello. I've been looking at you on this screen in front of me, and I want to thank you all for all the courage and endurance and commitment that you all have shown forever, but especially in this last year and a half. And it is great to be with all of you. I want to thank the administrator, Isabel, Guzman, for your kind introduction, but also for your leadership. She and I have had many conversations since the beginning of the first days of our administration, and you really are so committed and such a great and important leader, especially at this moment in time. So thank you all. Thank you all for your leadership and for being here. When I look at you and when I think about who you are, it's clear. You are not only leaders in business, you are civic leaders, you are community leaders, and you are our country's leaders. I strongly believe that when someone starts a small business, it is a true act of self-determination. A small business owner must have a vision, and through hard work and support, realize that vision, which of course helps determine not only their future, but the future of their community. Just think about it. Small businesses provide almost everything that people need in their community, where they live, in their neighborhood, from the local dry cleaner to the local neighborhood restaurant to the small batch manufacturer. Small businesses create good paying jobs and in fact employ, I don't need to tell you all, nearly half of the private sector workforce of America. Small businesses keep our nation competitive. The president and I spent a lot of time thinking about our relationship with our allies and even our adversaries around the world. And one of the great points of emphasis for us is that we must remain competitive. Well, you are a big part of the formula for how we will do that. All that to say, you do so much. So again, thank you. When the president and I first took office, one of our top priorities was to provide small businesses with relief. And I don't need to remind you guys of those days when we first took office and how folks were hurting and suffering, in particular, how our small businesses were going through so much pain through no fault of their own. But through our American Rescue Plan, we did what we intended to do in terms of relief to the tune of $60 billion. And as a result, so many small businesses have been able to reopen and stay afloat. In fact, we learned today, in the first half of this year, our economy has grown at the fastest rate in nearly 40 years. That's a good sign. And to build on this growth, our administration recognizes that small business owners need more than just relief. They need more than only relief. They need more than relief. And in particular, also in terms of access and an infrastructure that supports your growth. And so our administration intends to deliver on both fronts. First, on the issue of access to capital. So over the first 6 months, we have been in direct contact. And in fact, I've called and talked with some of the most active CDFIs, or community lenders. CDFIs is the wonky term, but community lenders in our nation. And through these discussions and the work that I've been doing with Janet Yellen and our Treasury Department, we have begun to work on increasing community lending capacity, right? So they do so much, but we need to increase their capacity to do more. And as you well know, traditional banks, well, they've not always seen or understood the vision like a community bank can of, take for example, women small business owners, or small business owners of color, or small business owners who serve local communities or low-income communities. Community lenders, on the other hand, well, they understand the value in providing access to capital directly to communities. They often exist in the community, they live in the community, they understand the community, and in that way understand the vision and the ideas of the small business owners within those communities. Community lenders have an incredible capacity, therefore, to add value to those communities, and by extension, to our whole country. And that is why we must support these lenders, and why that has been one of the areas of focus for us. Second, we will invest in the infrastructure that supports your growth. So we've had a lot of work that, as you all know, has been happening in these last 6 months to do just that, and there was a big vote last night. I'm sure many of you were tracking it. And this is all in the context of the work the President and I have been doing for months now with members of Congress on infrastructure policy. So yesterday, the Senate voted to advance a bipartisan infrastructure deal. And 67 senators voted in favor of moving the deal forward, Republican senators and Democratic senators. And the bipartisan infrastructure deal will improve the lives of people in our country and the strength of our small businesses. And I think I will speak for the President and myself to say it's a point of pride that it was a bipartisan deal, because I don't need to tell you all, small businesses, the contribution they make to communities and the challenges they face really don't have much to do with who they voted for in the last election or will in the next election. It has to do with what they need to do on the ground every day to actually be successful and add value to their communities. And why? I mean, if you think about the infrastructure piece of it and why the bipartisan work was important, well, infrastructure, it is more difficult to get your goods to market when our roads are crumbling. Infrastructure, why is that important? Well, it's more difficult for your customers to travel to your store when our transit, in particular our public transit systems, are failing. It is more difficult for small businesses to reach new customers when their internet connection is slow, or in many cases, and I know we have a lot of rural business leaders here, when that internet connection is slow or non-existent. So our infrastructure as a nation needs an upgrade. And the bipartisan infrastructure deal for that reason, is, we believe, historic, because it will make a once-in-a-generation investment in our nation's infrastructure, positioning our small businesses to compete in the 21st century. And I'll share with you a quick story about an incredible business leader among the many. I've been traveling around the country meeting with folks. And recently I met a business owner by the name of Megan Kaiser. And she runs an agricultural lab in Bowling Green, Missouri. And we had a long conversation. But her family's business is at the cutting edge of precision agriculture and green farming. And her clients, therefore, are from all over the world. But she pointed out she's got a really big problem on the infrastructure point, which is she cannot get the internet at speeds that she needs to load soil samples for her clients. So literally, she's talking to customers or potential customers from around the world, and then she needs to send them her spreadsheet. She needs to send them information about what she's doing. And because the infrastructure around the internet is so slow, she can't upload what she needs to send them immediately. So, what she said to me is, I want to be competitive. I feel that my business is a reflection of America's commitment to business and small business. And she basically let on that it's kind of embarrassing because she wants to be thought of because she is a world-class business. But if she doesn't have the infrastructure to support what she is doing, which is running a world-class business, then what's that going to mean to the bottom line? So our nation's infrastructure must support businesses like hers and support the growth of all small businesses. And with that, let me just end where I began, which is the point of self-determination. I think it's such an important point. All of you have vision and you have drive. A strong sense of purpose often comes from within, as we all know, but it requires support. Support from your family and your friends, support from your community, and you deserve to have the support from your government. So I want you to know that the President and I are 100% committed to supporting America's small businesses and small business owners. And again, thank you all for your leadership, for your courage, for your strength, for your vision. And I look forward to working with you as we go forward. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Well, that was amazing. Now you know what motivates me every day. I mean, this incredible incentive for helping our small businesses. And now it's my privilege to introduce two small business owners, Tiara Flynn and Walt Rowan. Tiara Flynn is an entrepreneur and an Air Force veteran from Las Vegas, Nevada. As president and CEO of Some New Marketing, a minority business enterprise originally launched by her father, it's a family business, Tiara helps fellow small business owners access the marketing tools they need to grow. She's won numerous awards for her efforts to partner with other minority business enterprises. And Some New Marketing received SBA assistance during the COVID pandemic through our PPP and EIDL programs. So welcome, Tiara. Please kick us off and share your question for the Vice President.
Thank you so much, Administrator Guzman. As a two-time SBA award-winning family-owned firm, we really appreciate you being here and the support that we've gotten over the years. Madam Vice President, I can't thank you enough for being here with us small business owners today. You mentioned access to capital in your remarks, as well as the administrator, and you work with, our community lenders. For many of us, especially those in the underserved areas, access to capital is crucial. Even before the pandemic, Black women entrepreneurs received drastically lower venture funding support on average compared to our white counterparts. And yet over 1.5 million businesses generating $45 billion in revenue are majority owned by Black women. As we move beyond the pandemic, how do you think about expanding access to capital for small businesses, and specifically as it relates to closing the gaps and disparities for Black women entrepreneurs?
That's a great question and a great point. So I'll tell you, first of all, here's how I see it. The pandemic really in many ways exposed the fissures and the failures and the fractures in our society and in our economy and in our structures and our systems. But I do look at that as also an opportunity that was created, right? Which is more people have been able to see the flaws that we have known have existed. And in that way, I think that there is a will, a desire, and a momentum to address that stuff and address it head on. And so let's think about it in terms of the context in which we now exist. I think of it as we are starting a new era, you know, and a new epoch, a new, in many ways, beginning, but a beginning in that this is the moment to really leapfrog into where we need to be instead of thinking just incrementally about how we can progress. And in that way, then, with that sense of optimism, but also ambition, I think we have an opportunity to shape an economy of the future and to make it more inclusive, right? The president cares deeply about, you know, let's build from the ground up. Let's build right from the middle out. But I also say, let's build from the outside in, right? Let's make sure that we are inclusive and bringing folks into these systems. And so for CDFIs, for community lenders, they are uniquely designed and exist. It's almost the culture of their businesses to really have an awareness and a sensitivity to see the vision of communities and then to help harness the talent and the ambition within those communities. And, you know, for example, the place of my birth, Oakland, California, one of the small businesses, those that I've been visiting, is the Rain Company. And there I met with a woman who started a catering company, you know, like many restaurants and caterers in their own kitchen, right? And then wanted to build on that and get an industrial size apparatus. And so she had the ambition, and she went to a community lender to invest, knowing that catering company in that place actually was something the community wanted and would support. I met with and talked with Ona Leboy, who is a Native American entrepreneur who is investing in a quilt business, knowing that the community actually, you know, quilt ceremonies and quilts are very important to the community. It's something people want. And she was able to go to a community lender to get that kind of support because the community lender understood what the community wants and understood her vision then. So that's the work that we need to do. And in fighting for small businesses in particular, again, understand that one of the keys for folks to not only open a small business, but grow a small business, equally important, is access to capital. And so our Build Back agenda basically is designed to invest billions of dollars to support small businesses around access to credit and funding, of course, and research and development, which so many businesses need to do to, again, grow. And we're also putting resources and money, significant money, into creating incentives for venture capital investment. And that's all on top of the $60 billion that we did in the American Rescue Plan and with the PPP. To address the support that folks need. But again, as I said in my comments earlier, not only on the piece about relief, but what we need to do to leapfrog into where our system could actually be better than it was before. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I really appreciate
Thank
it
you.
and looking forward to the future work.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Madam Vice President, for that response. I think that you've nailed it. I mean, capital is going to lead to opportunities for our small businesses. And now we have Walt Rowan joining us. He's an entrepreneur from Columbia, Pennsylvania, which is a borough in Lancaster County that was once just a few votes shy of becoming the new United States capital, I've learned today. So Walt is the president of Susquehanna Glass, which is a family-owned and operated glass decorating business started more than 100 years ago by his uncle and grandfather with the single glass cutting machine on the banks of the Susquehanna River. So Walt has led the growth and expansion of the business to include extensive work in product development and sourcing, and he's proud to offer as well the Made in America sticker on most of his products and programs. Susquehanna Glass also received crucial relief during the pandemic from the SBA's PPP program. So welcome, Walt. Great to have you here. Please share your question for the Vice President.
Good afternoon, Madam Vice President. It is an honor to be speaking with you. My name is Walt Rowan. I am the owner of Susquehanna Glass in Columbia, Pennsylvania, and I'm a member of the Small Business for America's Future Small Business Council. We are a family-owned business that has been in business for over 111 years. We employ a little over 60 people. 50% of those are women. The pandemic has affected a majority of small street business owners, including myself. And infrastructure is so important to our work to recover from COVID-19, not just through the Bipartisan Infrastructure Deal of new roads and bridges, but also through the broader investments in family supports, like childcare you spoke to in the Build Back Better plan as well. My question is, small businesses are the heartbeat of our economy and our communities. Sometimes it feels like policymakers just don't hear us. How are you to make small businesses have a voice in your efforts?
That's great. Well, first, let me congratulate you and your family, Walt. That's incredible. And I'm sure you've got a lot of lessons learned, and I'm sure you're by virtue of being with this group, sharing it with everyone. I'd like to hear some of the lessons learned so that I can make sure that our policies are reflecting those lessons as well. But, here's how I see it. And I hope that this is something that I can say over and over again to as many people as possible. I believe that our small business owners are pillars of the community. I know small businesses. I grew up in neighborhoods of small businesses. You are not only business leaders, you are civic leaders. It is our small businesses that are supporting the local Little League team, that are hiring locally, that are role models for the young people in the community. You are the ones where, whether it be a restaurant or a dry cleaner or you name it, where, folks can go and you know their names. And if they're having a bad day and they walk in, you can kind of sense it and say, hey, how you doing? I mean, really, small businesses are so much, not just intertwined, are so much the part of the fabric of communities, the culture of communities, the heartbeat of communities. I love our small businesses. It's, and not to mention, not only in terms of the heartbeat and the soul,